Hello, I'm FX Toycat, and if you're starting another Minecraft world and you want it to be boring, make sure you type in nothing to the seed field so that you spawn right here in a forest by an ocean. But if you don't want that, maybe instead you prefer a seed that spawns you in a giant cave that is half dripstone, half ice spikes, or maybe instead you prefer spawning on this pillar with no way out or down and no other choices, or maybe instead you prefer this insane glacier which has a trail ruins in it, but then it's above another glacier all the way down to the ground. Finding seeds that break Minecraft on any edition is an absolute challenge, and Cracked Magnet is one of the best in the world at this, but when it comes to Minecraft Bedrock, his skills are unmatched, which is why any seed that comes out of him is going to be wild. And so here are 5 of the most broken world seeds ever that just couldn't easily be categorized into one place by Cracked Magnet. He did reveal them to me specifically for the purposes of this video, and even more fun, the comments under it will be a part of a fun competition that you'll understand closer towards the end. For now though, let's get into the first seed, because despite only being a 7 out of 10 on the scale of brokenness, it's already an interesting seed when you look at the spawn. You spawn at Y129 on the side of a mountain, almost immediately able to jump in some snow. This is already kind of a unique seed and will give you a very different experience, but what makes this so staggering is what you'll find just behind you. If you go over or under these trees, you'll spot this, the side of a mountain that has been entirely destroyed. It is bizarre to look at in survival, and it is honestly one of these weird experiences that gives you both a mountain and a cave experience mixed into one. This is what happens when the world can't decide which it wants to be, and it is very, very strange to me, that's for sure. But when you see it from above, you realize it's so much more. It's a mountain bowl seed. This is something that can happen in Minecraft. It's always wild, but there's taiga and there's forest in the center, and then there's these giant foreboding mountains on the outside. Look at those mountains and you'll realize just how tall they go, except for this one, which is very much broken up in a way that looks like it might be a downside, but actually provides huge upside, because not only is it lots of distinct islands, which would be wild to sail down on, but also it means you can see more of the exposed ores. And then also, if you wanted to, Minecraft is giving you a huge diving board. You could set some slime blocks up down there for the achievement, or you can just set some water up and you can have a huge jump from the top of where you are to the bottom straight into a cave experience. I think this is one of the wildest caves that you can spawn next to, because having tall and having small can seem like opposites, but this seed gives you both in the same place, which is really, really wild. And like I say, it's not the most broken on the list, but it is one of the most interesting from a survival perspective. This next seed has the exact opposite thing going on with its spawn, because you're at -50 on the y-axis, this far below the ground, and this is a seed which is intriguing because you are spawned deep in a dripstone cave, surrounded by potential causes of death. If it's not the slimes that get you or the dripstones, it's definitely going to be the lava. If you want a slightly more hostile spawn environment, this is definitely one to go with, and as someone who's been desperately searching for some dripstone in my caveman world, this might be valuable on that front. But even more valuable and even more bizarre is the fact that this is even more broken than the first seed, and it might look at first like, yeah, well, you just spawn in a big cave, but let me show you something wild. So this is what the hole looks like from above. As you can see, there's a river which goes from side to side above it, alongside this cherry grove, a very rare biome, but this hole is what is so rare and indeed so broken here, definitely an 8 out of 10 on the broken spectrum, is the fact that as you're trying to go into the cave noise generator isn't quite sure how wild to make this cave. It could be going quite far up or quite far down, and so it makes a lot of caves at each individual layer. This should be a cave at this layer, and then this should be a cave at the next one, and so on and so forth. Each of these caves has a full-on life of its own, but because they're all stacked on top of each other, you get not just one cave or 2 caves or 3 caves which go all the way down, you get caves that stack on top of each other over and over and over again until you get right down here to the bottom of it. It is very, very, very insane to see, in my opinion, because when you're at the top of the seed right here, you can follow any of these caves that you like, even this very top one, and you'll see it will follow all the way down to those insane lava layers. It's not just a few examples of this. There's even a second giant hole nearby which does the exact same thing. This one next to it doesn't go quite the way down to lava layer and bedrock, although you can follow it through these and the same thing will happen. It is an absolutely wild cave to see in Minecraft at all, but to see it with open air and full skylight in this thing means that you can have all of your caving needs done without ever having to go in the dark if you want to, while still having it be one of the most interesting and new age caves you can have in Minecraft. And the reason this isn't the most broken is because of the next seed, where almost the exact same thing happens, but with less lava and more snow. That's right, snow inside of a cave is a very interesting thing to be able to experience, and the reason that this snow and ice and packed ice is all found over here, indeed the reason these polar bears are found over here, is because this isn't just a cave with the dripstone biome right here. Oh wow, that polar bear wants me dead. It's not just a cave with a dripstone biome for you to navigate, it's a cave with a dripstone biome mixed with some ice spikes. These two biomes should never be in the same place together, but yet here they are. By the way, did you see that? That was a geode sitting on top of one of those pillars. This is one of the weirdest and most broken things to see from any angle, but it especially gets wild when you get to the top here. You can see how we've really jumped up a notch, because what the heck has happened here? We have ourselves an ice spikes biome which is partially falling into the cave. Minecraft is usually very good at making sure surface biomes, very much stay to the edge, but some of these ice spikes really have generated right over and on top of it. Some of the ice spikes themselves are literally hanging over the edge, and some of the biome has managed to fall into the cave. This should not happen. There should be no above ground biomes which are below Y0, especially not so far below Y0 you're basically at bedrock. You can follow this ice all the way, and it's absolutely wild that you have snow which can generate this low down in your world. This makes for one of the lowest possible water to ice farms you can make in Minecraft, and so if your goal is to live in a cave as long as possible, then one, weird goal, but two, this is definitely a way to achieve it. Also, it should be noted that it doesn't end right there. You do, of course, have access to the biomes which are meant to spawn this low down, i.e. the deep dark, you have the dripstone caves, you have your regular cave. This is an absolutely wild cave spawn if you don't want to be challenged in the normal way, but instead you want to have access to all sorts of weird amenities, just in different ways you're not used to. Also, should be noticed, wow, look at this. It's sitting just on top of a spike. It's so cool how many weird things have overlapped for this seed to happen, but the reason this isn't the most broken seed you'll find today is because this next one exists. And you're going to want to come with me on a journey for this next seed. I'm going to type in the seed right here. I'm going to show you that I'm literally starting a brand new world. I'm going to press create, and you're going to see how with nothing else happening on this brand new world, something wild is going to happen to me. Because Minecraft spawns come in many shapes and sizes, it's true, but look at this one right here. It is me spawning at 060 on a grass block, but they forgot to generate the rest of the terrain around it. This would be a really nice spawn in a jungle, but instead I spawn on a single grass block with no way down that doesn't result in my death. Technically speaking, you can break some of this dirt, but the risk of doing that is now you're just slightly lower down. It won't save you from death, and you might think like, oh, you could use some of these blocks and pillar yourself down. However, the fun fact is no, you can't do that, because this pillar actually floats above the ground. You'll see more of that later, but for now, look at this lovely third-person shot. But from up here, the only choice you really have is to try and break some of these blocks, desperately hope you get them, which you don't always do, and if you can get enough of this dirt, then maybe you could stack yourself high enough up. Okay, wait, I'll move one block over to the side, then I'll start breaking some of these blocks, and you have a really fun challenge just to get alive here, and I love that this can happen. Minecraft should not be spawning you in a place where you're in this skyblock-esque scenario, but yet here it is doing precisely that, and I think it's absolutely hilarious. Now we can break this block, we can use it, so no, okay, I shouldn't have lost that, but now we can use this block to get some more over here. The fact that you have to do so much just to survive on this seed is absolutely hilarious, and the fun thing is if you choose not to, you know what happens? You absolutely die with no real way out. If you want to, you can just use this seed as an immediate death one, which might be fun if you're playing hardcore, but for everyone else, maybe not so much. Looking around this cave, you'll see some wild sights like an amethyst geode with diamonds beside it. Looking around, you'll see it goes dark in some bits, has lots of biomes, but most importantly has these huge spikes running through it, which has led Minecraft to believe that you could spawn right up here on this grass block that must be okay, but actually 100% is not. Very, very fun in my opinion. More importantly though, if you do get out of this hole, you will have a seed which is very above average. Look at this, you spawn in a jungle that is of reasonable size, you have access to a plains and a savanna that way, while having access to a desert and a mesa that way, which does include a desert temple. You've got 5 of the most valuable biomes and also a forest right here at spawn, which is just incredible to be able to see if you want to explore that into your ocean, you can. If you want to explore a forest, you don't, you can. If you want the cave biomes, if you want a desert village, if you want a desert temple, all of this is unlocked straight from the spawn, and I absolutely love this as an opportunity to start a brand new world that also has the fun side effect of spawning all of your friends directly into a cave. Or if you don't have friends like me, spawning all of the strangers who might join your world if you trick them into a cave. What is not to love about that? The answer is there's not very much not to love about that, and that is one of the beautiful things about this seed. The other beautiful thing is that just a few hundred blocks away from spawn, you start getting these micro mesa biomes, which are always fun by themselves, but this is a micro mesa Bryce biome, or it's the mesa hoodoos, or it's whatever they call it nowadays, but it is this brand new, very spiky mesa, which you might not have had access before, and which also gives you a lovely lava pit. There is so much to love about this seed, and it is incredibly broken for people who join while still giving you a lot from a survival experience, which might be the balance that you're precisely looking for. If it's not, if you want all the way broken, then good thing you stay to the end, because before we get into it, I do need to quickly mention that I absolutely love broken Minecraft seeds. This is something that I'm sure a lot of you can attest to based on the number of views that people seem to rack up on broken Minecraft seed videos. Cracked Magnet is very good at looking for something if it can exist in Minecraft and finding a seed which has precisely that. If you wanted, say, the biggest plains biome possible, you could type that into a YouTube comment and Cracked Magnet will be able to find you one of those seeds. If you were to type in, say, a desert biome that is very, very close to a jungle biome, although this seems to be that, you could type that in and Cracked Magnet be able to find it. And if you type in any comment down below and enough people upvote it, the top 5 seeds will be going through by Cracked Magnet. There is a caveat here, it has to be top 5 possible seeds. If you type something in, for example, like a nether biome in the overworld, that will never happen naturally. Or if you type something in like, I want an igloo that spawns, floating 200 blocks above a desert, that can never technically happen. However, if you type something in that is possible, the top 5 seeds that are like that, Cracked Magnet will find for you, and then I'll share you with those next week. Next week's Seed Sunday will be your most upvoted seeds. I have no idea how he's going to find some of these, and that is the fun game, but just make sure they are possible, because obviously Cracked Magnet can't find seeds for features that don't exist in Minecraft, but he can find you a floating desert temple, at least floating in the water sense. He can find you an ocean right next to a biome that is anywhere near that, and yeah, this is something that is wild that you could ask for, and he was very nice, and he actually said he'd do this. So yeah, the top 5 seeds which are actually possible will be gone through by the Seed Lord himself, which is going to be absolutely wild to say. So with that said, let's now jump into the next seed, because the most broken Minecraft feature I think the world has seen to date is glaciers that generate above the terrain. When they're meant to go down or when they're meant to go up, they seem to do the exact opposite, resulting in huge holes in the ground or resulting in giant pillaring towers upwards, which is why spawning onto this seed is so interesting, because you look behind you and you start to see that maybe that has happened over here too. Wow, that sure is interesting, huh? It's a bunch of frozen like lakes and reservoirs on top of each other. Well, that's just an interesting feature on your otherwise normal Minecraft seed, but what if I were to tell you there was a structure inside of it, a structure which wasn't quite sure whereabout it should spawn, so spawned mixed between all of the levels. This is the highest trail ruins you'll ever see in Minecraft. It gives you the ability to do archaeology at Y256, in other words, more than double the height of any surrounding terrain. Look at that, I'm all the way up here, and that is a village which is on a meadow, by the way, one of the tallest villages you can find, and it's all the way down there. Look at the cloud layers compared to up here, but even more fun is the fact that this is just the surface of the trail ruins, and as we all know, those are broken. I still don't think they've managed to fix them, by the way, which is moderately confusing by itself, but yeah, you can find in this reservoir so much iron, and then if you were to jump down, you would end up dying. But if you weren't, you would see something wild up, because this is the same, I mean, it's not like there's multiple of these in most of your worlds. This is the exact same glacier set of lakes frozen on top of each other, reservoir and reservoir and reservoir, and here it is at the very bottom. And once we go through this stone in Spectator and give ourselves some night vision, you can see that this is the same trail ruins that was found all the way up there. The top of the trail ruins is at 256, and the bottom of the trail ruins is at negative something to almost negative 27. 26. That is such a huge fall. In fact, wait, it does go that low down here. If you want to find a reservoir that is that far removed from the top of it, this is the Trail Ruins that has such a huge gap in it. This is the one for you, and even crazy up, because this is a bug that has happened on some seeds before. It is the type of world where there is a giant underwater cave. You might look at this and say, oh yeah, this is a giant ocean that is surrounding it, but no, this is a giant underwater cave instead that just slowly drips and falls until it reaches that lair. Absolutely insane to look at from this angle. As you can see, it is one of the wildest you know, this breaks Minecraft on multiple levels. It's an 11 out of 10 broken. You take something that already shouldn't exist with the giant fall, and then you add on a trail ruin, and there's absolutely nothing I can say that will explain this to any reasonable degree, but you'll find so many underwater caves nearby it that this could be the dream underwater cave experience, or it could be the underwater cave nightmare, depending on how you want to take this. You will have a lot of amethyst geodes because they're all generating in what they think is a cave and then are kind of just discovering slowly is not. And yeah, you will also get yourself lots of diamond because they can expose themselves to water easier than air if you can just get yourself down to this place. This is one of the weirdest things I've ever seen in Minecraft, and the moment I saw it, I knew I had to share it with you in this video, and I hope that you appreciated and in fact enjoyed. If you did, please do like this video or subscribe and leave a comment and upvote comments that you think would be interesting, because the top 5 of those are what we'll be going through next week for Seed Sunday. I really do look forward to seeing those comments and seeing some of the wild things that Crack Magnet finds from it, because the best Minecraft seeds used to be ones found by people just loading up the game and seeing what they found, but nowadays it's found by people who can push the limits of what Minecraft itself will do, and this is a great example of that. I hope you've all enjoyed it. I won't be solely focusing on these on my channel. I do want to show off just interesting survival stuff too, but it has to be said, every now and then we will go into the most broken, insane things, and I hope that you enjoy going through those today. If you do, then subscribe, because this is one of the best places to see it. Crack Magnet loves to share the seeds on this channel, and he'll be going through personally all of the comments, so I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, thank you for watching, hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. I'm a floating head, apparently.